Hello, everyone. Welcome to session one of this term, is what I'm calling it. Uh, so this is week one of the vibe coding course that I'm doing. It's going to take about 13 weeks. So this one's called Ship Version 0 Fast. So hopefully I can do this in an hour. I don't know where to look on the screen. Okay. So we're going to build a web app. With Lovable is the one that we're going to use today, and it's a vibe coding development app. So we're going to do something. Just one thing that we need to make sure of. If it's something to remember, if it's not tested, it's not done. A lot of people just make an app and then just leave it at that. I'm going to show you how to also, and I'll press this, also test it at the end. So let's go to Lovable. Oh, it wants me to click it twice. That's convenient. There we go. So here's Lovable. This is just the beginning screen. I've logged in already. That's why it's saying, what shall we build, Shane? So vibe coding is just what you're doing is you instead of coding, you actually just describe what you want and AI builds it. No manual code and very little, depending how you do it. It's fun, it's fast, it feels like magic. A lot of people say that, and but here's where people fall over. They think if it looks good, it means it works good. Wrong. Today we're building a Toolbox Tracker, which would be called a CRUD, which stands for, let's see if I can remember what that stands for. It's create, read, update, and delete. So that's what we want the entries to be able to do. And we'll ship it. All ship it means is we'll publish it. That's a common term, shipping it. So I thought I'd throw that in there. So we'll do 5 passing tests at the end. And yeah, Lovable's the tool of today, is the one I was saying. We'll be using different tools throughout the course. Even today, I'll be spotlighting a different tool that we could have done it in, but I've chosen Lovable because it's it's just a really good app. So let's start the project. So we're starting in a blank slate, just so people can see. It can take So here's my Lovable, and I have 147.6 credits left. So I'm not going to rush this. So if you haven't got it, you can get a free version where you get 5 credits per day. So you can still kind of do this, follow along the recording over a week, and you might be able to finish it. I'm not too sure. I'll see what the credits are like at the end to see if we know for sure if it's doable. So yeah, so I've got a prompt that I got ready, so we don't waste time typing. And I just realized I haven't turned comments on, so I can see what people are asking. Hi, Julie. I love Lovable. Yes. So we'll just paste that. So yeah, so what we're saying here is build a simple toolbox tracker web app. Features add a tool, list all tools in a clean table or cards. I'll explain that when it makes it and see which way it does it. Search and filter tools by name. You can edit a tool, you can delete a tool, include a basic empty state when no tools exist. See, that's a thing you've got to be careful of. Sometimes you'll pull up an error if you don't allow for when no tools exist. So we're throwing that in there. We're not saying too much other than for the design. Just no complicated design. So let's run this. So just while it's running, it's getting ready. So it's doing this little thing. Lovable is scaffolding the new project. That's what that's all about. And you'll see it spin up components, state management, stuff like that. It's using React under the hood and Vite for the build. Usually Tailwind for styling. You don't need to know how it works yet. You just need to know it's happening. Our job is to verify the outcome and not audit the code. So you're not auditing the code at the end of this. Well, not yet. Later in the course, we will do that. Not in a detailed way, but yes. And still, hang on. Have I pressed the right buttons here? Enable notifications. Okay, we'll get it to show what it's doing. There. Oh, it's got a sound effect. I forgot it does that. So here's the app coming up. Nice and basic. So Toolbox Tracker, keep your track of your tools. Nice and basic. So now let's look for some things that we want it to change. Now this is not the most efficient way to do the coding. There are ways you plan everything out and you use an LLM to write you a really big prompt that forces it to do it very specifically. But I'm doing this so you can just see what it does. It uses more credits to do it this way, but I have 146, so I'm happy to use up some credits to show you how to do it. So so we've got the empty state working. It's saying there no tools yet, so it can handle that so far. So let's add a tool and see what happens. So it didn't bring up a table, so it's doing it a little differently than I expected. But that's just the way these things happen. So what's a tool? Now this could mean anything. Oh, tool name. That's a search bar. So we'll go with hammer. A little bit of a note there for nails, just for a bit of silliness. We've got the add tool, and there it is there. It's in there as well. So we'll do another one and see if it's doing the, we'll get that out of the search tool. We'll add another one. What the hell, we'll go with this example and we'll go screwdriver. Now we're not doing anything fancy and making tables and so forth. I just want to get just give you a basic idea of how to do vibe coding. So we're not going to do anything overly fancy. So yeah, it's doing a sort of table there. So say we want to make the delete button more obvious. So we would say over here, make the delete button more obvious. Now, as you can see, it had the trash can symbol there already. So we don't want to lose that. So we would say, I can't spell that great. So yeah, that's obvious. Yep. but keep trash can icon. Now we're not going to stop there. We're going to see anything else that we want. So the search box is where up the top where we want it. So let's say put the search box. So this is what you can do. You can do multiple commands in one. And my keyboard is missing letters, or I'm missing letters. So you can put the so we'll put the search bar next to the title. These changes. Oh, why is it doing a full stop on its own? I've noticed that today. I've been typing and it keeps throwing full stops in there. I'm not sure what that's about. Something to do with the Mac. Is there anything else we want to change? Okay, let's just see, just for a second, what happens when we delete and delete. And yeah, cool, no tools. So it is handling the empty toolbox. So that's cool. I mean, this app isn't going to do anything amazing or even useful. It's just to give you an example of what you do. So you write in your commands, you get it to fix it. And now, this is where some people go a bit wrong. They say things like improve this or fix this. And it's much better, or make it better. I've seen that. And what you do is you do specific fixes like I've just done here. Not necessarily fixes, but we're changing things. And let's go. And it's thinking, it's doing this little thing. So yeah, so this is vibe coding. It's doing the coding for you. It's writing the TSX files, and yeah, so yeah, it's finished. There we go. So we'll add some tools again and see what's happened to that. We'll add the same tools because I'm not very imaginative. We won't worry about a comment this time. So adding the tool, and there, the delete button is nice and obvious, just like we asked. And the edit button appears when you hover over it, which is its own decision. We could have changed that. We could have asked it to change that. So, yeah. Now, let's check if we add a tool and we leave the tool name empty. Oh, it's already doing it. So the one I built earlier today, maybe it's remembering what I did. It let me put a tool. It let me put a blank tool in there, but it's not doing that now. So I was going to use that as an example, but it's not doing it this time. So what we would have done is just asked it to bring up an error message of some sort, but it doesn't even let you do it. So that's even better. So I'll put a screwdriver in just so we got two in there. Again, I'm not very imaginative. So we've built a very basic tool here, and we've checked the errors. Well, not checked the error. We've fixed the errors as we saw them, or what we wanted to change about it. See, the search bar is up where I asked it, up on the right. The tool button's going down the bottom there. It's doing like a table, or actually, it's doing cards. So pick cards over table, and it's got a little number here. So some of the decisions it makes on its own. Some of them you've got to tell it what you want it to do, and that's the beauty of vibe coding. Now, the other beauty of Lovable is it's just a press of a button to publish it. So we shall publish it. So I can give you a shareable link. We won't do a custom domain. We'll just let it do its own domain. It'll be like a random string or something, because this isn't an app I plan to take to anywhere interesting. That's okay, Crystal. Sorry you're late. Yep, it's all good. So there's the app. There's the URL for the published app. So again, I'm not doing anything fancy. Because it goes over 13 weeks, I can be a little bit lax in what we do, a little bit slower. I think a lot of people jump straight into how you do the code using LLMs and all that sort of stuff, which can mix people up a bit. I just wanted to show you that it's very easy just to put in a basic prompt, tell it what you want, and then just put in extra prompts, which today I had to put in about 3 or 4 separate prompts to fix things, but it's automatically done those things. So maybe it remembered what I did earlier today. So this has gone a lot quicker than I expected. So anyway, I'll share the toolbox so you can have a look at it yourself, play around with it. Where is the comments? Here we go. So this will send a link out to everyone. So yeah, so now we can have a bit of a look around. You can have a bit of a play around. Why does it keep doing that? Okay, that's just me complaining about my Mac. I keep needing to press things twice. Now, as you can see, a basic app like this, even not doing it all in one prompt, which will save credits, has only taken, 15 minutes? To have coded this could have taken a day or two. So that is a beautiful amount of time saved. Now, let's have a look, see. And we've used so far, it was 147, I think, when we started. So it's used 2 credits, 1.5 credits. So you can actually build this yourself on the free 5. I wasn't expecting that because I did a lot less. We only did 1 correction. So that's why it's used a lot less. That's cool. That's why I've done this. A really simple application like this one. Just like I was saying there, it's only used about 2 credits to do what I've done so far, and you get 5 free credits on the free plan a day. So you could easily build something very basic like, I didn't mean to click that again. You get something very basic like this yourself. Oh, these credit things confuse me. Okay, I'll put that up so everyone can see the question. Basically, think of the credits as fuel that runs the AI. So the more the AI does, the more fuel it uses. So in this case, they're called credits. Some programs call them tokens. Some programs even have their own terms for it, and it means the same thing. It's just fuel to get the AI to run. The more things you ask it, the more things it does, the more thinking it needs to do, the more credits it uses, or fuel. Oh, month. Okay, yep. Month to month is when you pay, Crystal. The free version is 5 credits a day. So if you don't use them all, they don't roll over. So if you use 2 credits one day, you'll have 5 the next day still. So then you use up whatever you want to do there. So if you want to be efficient, you just use them until you just keep doing stuff until you use them all. So I hope that answers your question about that. Now, as you can see on my screen here, I've got my credits up there. This little bit here, I'll zoom in. Why is it not zooming in? It keeps doing this by accident. Oh, there it is. It's been doing it by accident all day today. So yeah. So this little light thing gets used up first. So even when you're paying, you get the 5 credits. So we've used 2.9. So I was a little bit off. We've used 2.9 today out of the 5. Once that gets used, you get the rollover credits from the previous month. Now, last month I had 42.6 that I didn't use. Now, this, as far as I know, I could be wrong about this, with Lovable, with the rollover credits, they can only be used the month after they've rolled over. So these will disappear in the next month if I still haven't used them. But this here, the monthly credits they'll roll over into next month. Hope this is making sense. It's probably hard to show without some sort of diagram. I didn't realize that people would ask about the credits. So that's zoomed in. Let's go back to normal. Let's get that off the screen. Cool. So now for the real work. This is where some people fall over. Now I need to get that link, which I think is still in my... Oops, I didn't mean to do that. So what we're going to do, you can test it in that area, but it's much better to test it in the published area, just to see what it does on the internet, what it does live. It makes sense? Oh, awesome, awesome. Oh, okay. It depends on the program for this question. Depends what you're using. I think from memory, Lovable only uses credits for thinking and applying to making the app. I don't quote me on this one because I use a lot of the programs. I've been experimenting with all of them, so I can't remember for sure. But I think if you chat with it, it doesn't use credits. If you're just having a conversation, asking it a few questions, but as soon as you ask it to do something, it uses up your credits. And the more complex it is, and the more thinking it's got to do, the more credits it uses. And what's the way of explaining this? The fact that I just do 2 prompts like that will cost me more credits than if I'd done one big prompt that told everything. So I don't know if that's just a Lovable thing, because I haven't tried that in the other ones I use. But Lovable definitely uses less credits if you plan out the app and put everything into the prompt, using something like Claude to write the prompts, very particular way, so that Lovable makes it. You can use ChatGPT if you haven't got Claude, or Gemini if that's the only one you've got. They'll all do a fairly good job, I believe. Now, when I used to use this, I knew that it ran on Claude, so that's why I used Claude to write the prompts for it, because it knows itself. But I think I read somewhere they're using chat now, but I'm not 100% sure of that. Okay, so 15 minutes to get a prompt. Now, the important part, checking that it runs properly. Now, this app does very little, so it's going to be very easy to check. Oh, awesome. Thanks, Crystal. I'm glad I answered it. So we add it. So now that it's published, we want to make sure it all works. So, okay, let's be a little bit more imaginative this time, and I can't spell shifter. I hope that's not a name that I'm going to be very imaginative here and just say for bolts. Yep, cool, that worked. We'll add another one just so we can see that it's doing it as cards and they're not overlapping or doing anything strange. Now, you can test this in the other area, but I like to do it in the published area so we know for sure what it's doing out in the wild, so to speak. I can't think of tools. A ruler. A ruler is a tool, I think. Very imaginative note about it. It's cool. Okay, so we got two. We've still the button is doing what it's meant to be doing. The delete button's nice and obvious, and it's got the trash can on it. So that's what we asked. So that was check one, the first check. We checked that when we added something, it appears in the list. When we added something else, it appears underneath it or above it. In this case, it looks like it puts it above it each time you put a tool in. If we don't like that, we just ask it to do the other way around. But we'll just leave that for now. Sorry, just looking at my notes here. I think so. Now we want to check the search, which we didn't check last time. So let's see if it works. So we'll say bolts to see if it uses the comments. Oh, and look at that. It's a live search. You don't even have to press enter. So that's pretty cool. So ruler. Yep, there you go. So yeah, the search is working. So that's check two. Now let's check that edit works. And for bolts and nuts. So pretty much this is the important part. I mean, this is a very basic example, so you might think it's a bit dumbed down, but it's just to show you that testing is very important. So in this case, the fourth check would be checking that the delete button works. Voila, it works. So that's good. But now, what happens when we refresh the screen? This is where the simple app falls down. Everything's deleted. So this makes us realize that we need what's called persistence so that the information stays there. With Lovable, that's you add local storage and connect it at the back end, local storage being a database, so that it keeps the information. So if we were to fix that now, which we're only half an hour in, so we can probably, I didn't want to really go into databases today. So this is version 0. It's not perfect. Like we just saw, you refresh the screen and everything disappears. So that's persistence. Cool. Yeah, you're trying it out yourself. That's awesome. And my clicker isn't working. Okay, there we go. So I'm just going to have a drink. Okay, so we've tested it. Such a simple thing. This is probably about the only things we could test. So we've tested everything that it can possibly do. With more complex apps, the testing process can sometimes take longer than the building. So, but it's very important you test it because test it for every single possibility. And I think with this app we just did. So the only thing is when we refresh the screen, the only way to fix that is have a database in the background. We won't bother that. That's something I'm going to do either next week or the week after. Because next week we're going to have a bit of a look-see at Cursor, which is an IDE, which is, I don't remember. I just know what an IDE is, but I can't remember what it stands for. I just know the E is environment. No, can't remember. Okay, so that's this. That's Lovable. Now, we could have built this in something like bolt.new. So I'll just bring that up. So here's bolt.new. This is very similar to Lovable. So I'll get that prompt again that we did in Lovable, and we'll see what this one does. See how it's different. Where did I put that prompt? Okay, there it is. Just copy and paste. Copy. So this is the free version of Bolt. Now, I haven't played around with this too much. All I know is it gives you a million, I think, what do they call it? Hang on, we'll check what they call it. Oh, hang on, wrong button. Oh, there it is down the bottom. There. So I've got. Oh, it doesn't tell you on the screen. Okay. My subscription. There we go. I've got 1M, so that's 1,000,000 tokens. So they call it tokens, and they have 1,000,000. Now, you can only use 300,000 tokens per day. So, and like I said, it's like fuel, and they all use a different amount to do the similar things. So the fact that it gives you so many tokens, I'm guessing it uses a lot of tokens to do things. So let's put this in and see what it does. So there's the same prompt we used in Lovable. And we'll just, now, the thing to note with this, we'll just, how do I get rid of this note? It didn't do this to me before. Okay, I don't know how to get rid of this pop-up. That's really, okay. I will go through the sequence. As you can see, it's thinking. I don't know if you can see this over here. It's going through. Now, this one's creating a database. It's actually doing something different. It's actually thinking for itself. I'll just say I'm an entrepreneur. This is interesting. It's weird that they're doing this. I'm a freelancer. You think they'd do this the first time you use it. I'll just say I'm basic. And it's a hobby. I'll just say it's a hobby. There you go. Oh, there's still one more question. Build an app. Yes, that's what we're trying to do. Let's build apps. Okay, cool. So it's building the app over here. I'll just put that on the screen a bit. It's creating a database. So this will actually take a bit longer. If it had done the same thing Lovable was doing and not creating a database, it would probably be finished by now. So this is interesting. I didn't test this one like I did Lovable, but it's it's making a database. So that's quite interesting. So we'll see how this goes, see what it makes. Again, we're not auditing the code or anything. Hang on, let's get back to my notes. There's the checks. So this is taking longer than I expected, but it's doing more than Lovable did, so that's why. See, it even tells us that it's a CRUD operation, which was I keep forgetting what the letters stand for. I just know what a CRUD is. Create, so it will create something. It'll read that it's got that in the thing. It'll let you update it and it'll let you delete it. So CRUD, create, read, update, delete. So that's all that means. It's just they love their acronyms in IT. They love them. So yes. So this is doing a lot more than Lovable did. So I wasn't expecting this. And a lot of people say that the designs that this comes up with is a lot slicker than Lovable. And I know web developers who use this, and they actually use it just as a prototype. They'll build a website in this, get the design from it, and then go build the website in some sort of thing like WordPress or whatever. So this tells you all the things it's doing. Still thinking. I'll be curious to see how many tokens it uses up. So let's. I don't know. That doesn't look better to me. So I was told that this makes better design. So maybe it was the prompt that did it. See how it's doing it differently. It's bringing up the it's not doing a pop up to add something. It's just putting it there. It's funny that it came up with hammer and screwdriver the same as the other one. I mean, these aren't connected. So it's funny that it's chosen the same things, although it threw a drill in there as well. Now, I'm not going to test this. because that's not the point of this lesson. It was all about Lovable. But I just wanted to let you know that there are other programs out there that can do this. Bolt.new is one of them. So I just thought that's one of the more popular ones. It's funny because I was told it makes better designs, but in my opinion, this is not a better design. So that I was expecting something really nice to show off to you and show you how great Bolt.net is. But yeah. But what it's great for is rapid prototyping for things like web pages and even just the look. Although this has disappointed me, of the app, which you can then use somewhere else. No. I didn't pull it into Bolt. Hang on, I'll just put that question up for anyone who watches this later. All I did was copy and paste the prompt. So this has just taken the prompt, the same as what we had, the same prompt we used in Lovable, just to see how it built it. So this is a totally different thing. It's used the same prompt and thought about it and come up with its own ways to do stuff. It's a little bit creepy that it did hammer and screwdriver as well. I don't think I put that in the prompts. Just double check I didn't put it in the prompt to use those examples. Because if it's in the prompt, that'll make a lot more sense. It's not in the prompt. I did not put that in there. I just had I didn't put any specific examples to use. So that's kind of funny. This is the free version, yes. I wasn't willing to pay for prompts just to show you in one lesson. Just to show you an example. Now, what I'm curious about, because I didn't check this earlier, is how many... Oh, it's going to... So where is that button gone? Oh, that's interesting. Button seems to... What are these buttons down here? Nothing by the looks of it. Okay. I'll double click them maybe? Nah. I wanted to see how many credits we used. That's all I'm trying to do at the moment, if you're wondering why I'm clicking around. I wanted to see how many... Oh, sorry, this calls it tokens. I wanted to see how many tokens we used. Maybe the... I can integrate with Stripe. Cool. So can Lovable, just so you know. So if you want to take payments and so forth, you don't want your app dealing with credit cards. You want it to go through something that has all the securities and so forth to do payments, because it is a nightmare to do your own payment gateway. Okay, I don't know how this one does it, because all the buttons have disappeared. What's this code? No, we don't want to look at the code. Okay, I'm just going to go back into it and see if it takes us to the home page, or is it's going to take us back to that page. Okay, I'll just press the Bolt button. Maybe that'll do it. Okay, so it's back to the home page. Now we can pay this and your subscription. So this hides it a little bit. There we go. That took... Oh, okay, now I've got to do math. 177,000 tokens to do what we just did. So obviously it does use up a lot of tokens like I thought it did. Can you not see what I'm showing? The tokens? Can you see the tokens, Crystal? Maybe it is frozen. I'm not. Okay, cool. So the app's not doing much. Around the edge of the screen should be something moving. Oh, no, you're... Okay. But you're still doing comments. That's really weird. Okay, cool. That's interesting. But yeah, so it used a lot of tokens. Oh, see, we've only got 123,000 tokens left to use for today. So basically, we used about the same amount. We used half of our 5 on Lovable, and we've used half of our 300,000 on Bolt.new. So technically, the free amount that we get, we're using about the same amount. So percentage-wise, so that's Bolt. So let's go back to Lovable. So stick with Lovable. Hang on, I've written down what the differences are. So, what are the trade-offs by using Bolt? Bolt is brilliant at scaffolding. That's putting all the structure and everything in there. You get a full code base dumped on you. If something breaks, you're debugging generated code. If you want to iterate, just like we did, Bolt sometimes hallucinates the fixes. So that's a bit of a trade-off there. It's fast, but it's fragile. And critically, Bolt doesn't integrate well with external editors. Lovable does. So this is why we're using Lovable. So Bolt, you can do it, but it's difficult. So you basically, if you use Bolt, you're stuck in Bolt. Lovable, you can actually export the entire app to GitHub and then host it yourself somewhere. So that's why I did the example with the Lovable, because it's more versatile and many more integrations, and you can take the code away and edit the code itself out of Lovable somewhere else and host it yourself, which is not in the scope of today's lesson. Now, because this only took, what was it, 2.9, so about 3 credits, give it a go. Do the same thing. Build the same app, just so you can get a feel for it. Use different wording. Write the initial prompt yourself. Worst case scenario, use up all 5 free credits. So it's not a big deal. The next day, you'll get another 5. So if you didn't finish it, you can finish it the next day. If you're making yours complex, then it will probably take a couple of days of using 5 credits each time. So yeah, get out there and ship an app. So I'll go back to the bigger screen. I'm not used to double clicking everything. So yes, that's a basic app. That's all it vibe coding is. There are better ways to do it, but that's not what today's lesson was about. Today was just showing you what vibe coding was. It was just, you put in a prompt, you say you want all these things. The important thing is to be specific, and clarity is very important, because if you're a bit vague and say things like fix it, make it look better, it's going to decide what those things mean, and you might not get what you're after. So yeah, that's all I was trying to show you here. We changed the button just to see what we had to write to do that. So it's pretty user-friendly. It's a great tool to use. Start with something basic just to get used to it. I think week 3, I'm doing how to do a more efficient prompt and do something a little bit more intense. So yeah, but this is just the basic one for this week. What are we at? We're at 44 minutes. What I'll do, if you want to ask more in-depth questions, I have got something here. I should have put it in a text file so I knew where it was. So I'll add this to the thing. It doesn't really matter if this recording, people who watch this later get this link, because we won't be there anymore. So So that's a link to register for the Zoom meeting. It's going to start at 1:15, so I guess in half an hour. I might start it. Zoom lets you start early, so I might start it now and just wait for people who are coming in a bit later. If you've got questions, great place to go. If you want to talk to other people who watched, good place to go. If you want to network, another reason to go to this. We didn't have a lot of people watch this. I'm thinking it's because the summit was on today. I still did the lesson because I want to do this every Thursday, regardless of anything else. So that the 13 weeks is in 13 weeks. So it is a term. That's a quarter of a year, 13 weeks, for anyone who didn't know that. This is the first lesson, so I should probably explain. We're going to have 4 terms in the year. Each term will tackle something a little bit different, and this term is doing vibe coding. So we're going to do a mix of Lovable, which is you don't really touch the code, and IDE, and I will look up what that stands for because I just know what it is. And my mouse doesn't want to work. I don't know why they call this a magic mouse, because it's a bit of a pain in the butt. Okay, integrated development environment. See, I told you E was environment. So integrated development environment, that's IDE. And let's go back to the screen so I can see what you're seeing. And so we'll look at one of those. What Cursor does is it uses AI to write the code for you still, but it does it outside of an app like Lovable. It'll be very basic what we do next week, so you won't be expecting you to read the code or figure out the code. It'll just be showing you that it exists and ways to work with it. So I think that's it. I don't think there's any point me blubbering on for any longer. But another thing I was trying to show in this was testing. Testing is really important. The hardest part about testing is coming up with all the possible scenarios, so that you catch anything that a user might do. This was easy app, so it was very easy to come up with all the problems. And like you saw, when we refreshed it, it died. So yes, testing, very important. And the testing can sometimes be harder than writing the code, to be honest. Writing the vibe code and getting it to make the app, because you've got to think about every possible way a user's going to use it. I think I just said that, so I'm repeating myself. But very important, because you want to catch those errors before you put it to not necessarily put it to the public, because we tested it while it was live just to make sure the live version was doing what it's meant to be doing. But before you tell people about it, I guess is the best way to do it, or advertise it, or whatever you're going to do with it. So I will stop this, and I won't do the crazy outro that I did last time where I just suddenly disappeared. Just to warn you, those watching YouTube, when I stop this, it'll go back to the beginning. So it might seem like it's still going. It's just circling back to the beginning of the video. Couldn't think of the word video. Okay, so hopefully see you all in the Zoom chat so we can chat about this a bit more. See you there. Bye.